guitar. Don't. It's fine.
So.
Give it back.
Music therapy.
Do I have to remind you then, in fact, I'm your boss?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, that's quite a big question.
Yes, it is, yes.
There's an Australian Music Therapy Association, so they define it as the planned and creative use of music to achieve and maintain health and well-being. That's pretty broad. So in a hospital setting, it actually is about quality of life for patients and also about recovery of function, and that depends where you're working and who you're working with. So if you're working in neurology, it will be of course about mood elevation and quality of life, but you may also be working on recovery of function, so people who can't speak but they can sing, and then you're using that connection of music in the brain and all that wonderful neuroscience to help them recover function through music. But in palliative care, if someone's dying, you're obviously going to be using music for comfort and to help their families cope with what's going on with them emotionally. So probably the main thing is it's the intentional use of music in a therapeutic context, and it's also the relationship with the therapist. Service is funded in certain areas at the moment. So we are funded under cancer care, and that's all the way from diagnosis to either recovery or if they come back and we lose them. In palliative care, in the specific ward, we're funded there as well, and also in neurology. So that's our clinical work. But then we have our music in the hallways work.
Yes, they do.
Yes, which we have volunteers like your lovely self doing. And that's about music in the whole hospital environment. So that's music, is it Trygve? I can never say his name properly, you're probably better at it than me being
Trygve.
That's right, him. Can I have that one more time, please?
Trygve.
Who coined the phrase music as a milieu. So, which I quite like. So in actual fact it's about music changing the general environment. So that's not the one-on-one work, that's the more kind of, and we have that, with volunteers, like when you're in college, when you're singing on the first floor, you're changing the environment of the hospital. People don't expect to come in here, they should expect to come in here, Florence. They do now.
They do now,
do now. But and it uplifts their spirits. We have a secondary school music festival. They play in all the hallways, which you guys are also part of.
Yeah.
Changing the environment. And I think that's important. So the hospitals, music can allow a hospital to be more a place of well-being.
Well, the studio program, as mentioned, it builds on the songs that Emma wrote with her patients at the bedside. And it's been in its making for quite a while. But now we've got this fantastic studio with the equipment to actually do recording ourselves. And now we're gonna pull in all the patients that have written the songs, and we're gonna record the songs with them. And also, like there are again many layers to this project. The one layer is to record it and document it. Another layer is actually to share with the whole community, because Emma did a project with Pete Murray that got a lot of feedback from people that heard the songs, because it's 1 in 2 now that are touched by cancer
in Australia.
Yeah.
And I think so Pete Murray knew these 2 young girls I'd worked with, and he promised them both before they died that he would record their songs one day, and he kept his promise, hence the name Pete's Promise, which is also on Facebook. But when they were released last year, we were overwhelmed. We couldn't keep up with the feedback, and a lot of it had to do with people, that sort of idea that they felt less alone because they heard these songs. Either they were going through the experience themselves, or they had a loved one that was going through the experience. And also just the honesty and integrity in the songs. So when I'm writing the songs, and Stephan uses the same method too, it's about their song, not a song for them. And so we're really trying to get into their hearts and minds and share their stories. And both those girls are, very young. Both wrote 2 very different songs. One was a thank you song, but another one was all about confronting your own mortality. So they were beautiful, honest songs. So I thought, why not give all the songs the opportunity to shine like that? And so we will have guest musicians coming in. Some will be famous, some won't. Some will be fabulous. All of them will be fabulous, actually. I want to rephrase that. And also the patients themselves. We find with the studio on site, people are more able to take the risk and sing their own song, which I love. So they're much more engaged in that sense. So we'll build songs around them. We're making music video clips as well. I do believe, Ben, you're going to help me with some dance moves that we're going to do for a flash mob.
Oh, yes, we are.
We're recording one clip in a disco, and it's so we're doing all sorts of fun things. Just recently, we had a family come in. The mother had died, but she'd already sung her song, we didn't have a lot of equipment then, but we had the studio set up. We've got photos of her, and they've made a music video clip in her memory, which is just beautiful. And they were singing clapping on her song. So they're playing with her. Her song was played at her funeral with her singing it. It was very beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, but so that's fun, and also it's such a lovely way for them to celebrate Michelle. They're happy for us to share her name because she was a wonderful, exuberant, happy, beautiful woman, and it's great for them to celebrate her as well. I mean, obviously they're grieving because they're young kids and they've lost their mum, but I think music allows her to live on in her song.
Yeah.
So we have an established volunteers program. We have obviously people coming in groups. In terms of helping out with us, what we really love is when people bring their music into the space and we can work with them with that. We've got the Apollo Music Society, which has got a lot of med students. They come play here as well, so they can join that if they want to. If you're at a place, on placement at a hospital and they don't have music therapy, one good way to help out is to ask why they haven't got it. I think sometimes too, music therapy is part of allied health. It should be in that environment and being supported in that way. And a lot of times that, similar to how I started this position here, if there isn't music therapy there, the university can sometimes place a student who's a good student, and that the hospital can have that experience of music therapy. But I think being advocates for music therapy is good.
Yeah.
If you're a student and you see a patient, you maybe think, would music be really appropriate here? Could this help this person? And I think in that way, we all become better clinicians.
True.
got a part. We have to bring that in. I think I like the tissue bit.
Just at the end, throw it up.
Yeah, it's tissue. So this is the.
This
So
is
we'll just
kind of-
practice the tissue bit. Ready? Tissue. Smash. Clap. Smash. Ready? There you go. Zone.
Here we go.
Oh my god.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, I just lost it.
I got my ticket for the long way round. 2 bottle whiskey for the way. And I sure would like some sweet company. And I'm leaving tomorrow, what do you say? When I'm gone.